But here's me and Wee One. It's Thursday, coming up on 420. There's Wee One. She's going to take her place. Trying a little bit different of a setup here. Okay, that's not going to work. How about that? Is that going to work? Okay, I'll pull it a little bit closer to me. All right, and you know, I don't think it's 420 yet, so I am still getting my act together. That puts a negative thing on it, doesn't it? Is this gonna work, Wee One? Let's see. Basically I've got several tees here. I want to be bigger in here. So I should, but it's kind of, I should have, coulda, woulda, coulda. Okay, I'm just gonna improvise, because that's what we do here. Tool chest to the rescue. All right, Wee One, we're gonna try it like this, okay? All right. There, that's kind of like a Batman kind of angle, right? So, T, live today. I think I just about made it there. Here, one of my fans gave me some T-wear. Grateful for that, and fans. Do I want to put my address? You know, to tea people, you can send me tea, and I'll talk about it. Okay, yeah. So anyway, this is there's a special name for this kind of teapot, but it's a Celadon glaze. I don't know if Celadon is a glazer. I don't know much about that, but Celadon, it's got iron in the clay, either artificially or naturally. I don't know which turns this color when you fire it. And I'll hold it up here really close. It gets like intentional, purposeful cracks on it over time. You know, it's not called patina, it's called something else. So I just rifled through my teas, seeing that this is a particularly small amount of water. I want to say my typical one is 90 now, because I think this is 60 or 70. But you don't need to know that at all. You don't need to know about these things going behind the scenes, because I could have, didn't take care of that before I hit play, hit record, hit broadcast. See, I'm a noob. All right, age camp. This one was in the running. This was the one that I said, okay, I got that one. The leader of the pack, rather. I got that one, and I said, okay, I've got enough. I'm gonna bring. I want one that's strong, because I want a good amount of tea, and I don't want it to expand all the way up into there, so I can't get any water in there. Lubao, no, not that. That's a very mild one. No, not a smoked tea. We're not that desperate for flavor. See, that was tea humor. That camphor cake. Now that could be Boulang Shu, Old Tree. This is tempting. I think I'm going to go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. The reason being because it's got a good, strong but funky flavor to it. And I think that if I have any teas that have tea energy and tea energy is real, I could use some of that tea energy now. Chalky. This one is still Mao Cha, the individual leaves. It's never been pressed into a cake like most pu'er. Which is good because I don't have a reason. It just seems like it's going to work better in this small teacup here. Might as well. I'm not too careful about like keeping stuff off the floor. So that's like tea I didn't want to drink. They do have. I did see mouse traps inside the door down there, and I assume that we wouldn't have mouse traps in the building were there not mice. Yeah. So I think this one. I just sent an email, really short, asking, let's go, or telling the contact at a hospital for a medical research study on which I would be a total guinea pig. I said, let's do it, and so that's pretty exciting. Okay, now what am I going to do here? I'm going to have to think quick for one thing. I'm going to have to rinse this. Without scalding myself to death. We won! You got to get in on this. Come here, we won! Come here, baby girl. She's pretending like. Well, no, she's like it's positioned by the refrigerator, so it's not hard to understand what she's thinking. Oh gosh, I didn't get it all the way out there. It's okay. As I was saying, this is some pretty powerful tea. I'm laughing off a big mistake. I shouldn't have let it steep forever. It'll still be good. Oh. And the earthware or earth pottery or whatever it is. I was just teasing about being from a friend. It's from a no. It's from a really good friend. It's not from a random fan. But I would like it if random watchers sent me random gifts of any kind, really. Well, let me see. As long as you don't take like that sarcastically, yeah, send me gifts. I'm easy to please. No, that is kind of true. Okay, this is very, very, very. I haven't had right pu'er in over a week, I think. It's high time I had some. High time I got back on that right pu'er horse. I'm gonna go get me an aminal. Yeah. This is basically something to reproduce the DNA around it. There's seeds in there. And this too just reproduces cat DNA. It's shaped quite differently. It's different DNA, so different shapes deliver it. Leland, all the action's coming on up here. Come on. Okay, I owe you a hamburger Tuesday. Or wait, no, it goes the other way. But I could do it that way. Give me love today. I'll get you back with the hamburger Tuesday. Cheeseburger. She can have cheeseburger and she's just walking away. I wanted to also say this was going to be quick. Because I really haven't... No. It's just that okay, here we talk about me talking about motivation and stuff, my own motivation. I was just basically, I am getting better at being motivated, but I thought I'd have more of a certain kind of thing done by this time of the day that I typically don't have done by this time. So I am engaging in bad self-talk. I'm not into the books and therapy. No, I am very. I was going to be joshing about. No, what was I going to say? I was going to be talking about this. Idea that what are the chances that I would have a rare disease in a first world country that had the medical care that could identify a lot of these Wilson's disease patients, and I happened to be one of them that was identified before it was too bad, and then, how many, 30 years later, 30 years later, 25, I guess, all of a sudden I can be cured of it. This is weird. The chances that that my life would be right after antibiotics, that's maybe not as, no, it's not as, because if you were going to be born in any random year, or no, not random year, but if you were any arbitrary human being that had been born across history, chances are greatest you would be born when human population was greatest, just because there's more human bodies to zap into, and hopefully there will always be an excess amount of cat bodies, because we would not want a run on cats to happen like there can be on banks, because cats are human beings and deserve to be treated as such. Yeah. She's got that bacteria in my brain. She's like controlling me by remote control. There's no way a real person would just say what I just said. Oh. So, yeah, it's just so unlikely that all these things would come together. So I would be like one of the first transhumans, in the sense that my genetic code is going to be improved from the state it was in when I was born. I'm choosing it. This is a choice I'm making. My body doesn't make as much of a certain protein as it would if this gene was a normal copy of the gene. I know now that I can just modify my diet and take a lot of zinc, and my symptoms will never get worse. But I can choose to change my DNA or the way that my DNA is read. I'm not clear on that. I'm not clear on what is actually going on. At first, when I heard of gene therapy, I thought it was actually replacing the genes, out with the bad and with the good. It might be that. I don't know, but that sounds a little bit like the hardwired misunderstanding of DNA that I had as a kid, that it was more like that it was like a mold, I don't think it's like a mold. It's more like a Rube Goldberg machine. Maybe I'll put a link to maybe I'll put an excerpt of. Oh no, I can't do that with the live broadcast. If I think of it, I'll put a link in the description to a illustration of what's going on when DNA replicates. It's crazy. So, and if this DNA is just like carrying our bodies around, if our bodies are just like a mechanism, if DNA is running the show, it seems planned out in a way. Maybe another link I'll put is there's everything. It's the video about how everything evolves towards a crab, and it's not like everything, but everything in this one group of crustaceans separately is all merging into the same with the same kind of organism separately, evolved parallel. I don't know if it's called, but so. The idea is that the medical technology supports the stuff around the DNA, and we're getting better at that at such a rate that if what's really going on with us is the DNA and the body as a transport to it, there's no reason why we couldn't, come up with some sort of artificial body. Maybe you could just kind of like have a test tube version of a body, and you'd be just this DNA floating around in there. How would you get input out from the environment? I don't know. Would you want that? Would you need it? Or would you be like a psychic piece of DNA just floating around in a bottle? And is that what Chalky is? Is Chalky some people in tea leaves? Some people like stuff of consciousness. I'm serious here. Your self feels like something. We think of it in the brain. I guess it's possible to think of it is in here too. But it feels like you're something tangible. And like, where's that going to go when your body isn't going to be around anymore? Your body's going to be eaten by worms. This stuff is going to be still around too. This tangible thing we feel now. So I know I'm saying stuff like was said by the people that produced books like The Tao of Physics or The Dancing Wooly Master. I was into those books. I don't know. I never fully, I never like used them as like research or whatever. But I found them interesting. And those ideas I find interesting. And so does my little kitty. She finds those kind of strange ideas interesting too. And that's why I see her as a little bit of this consciousness stuff in there. And that's how I treat her, and we share that consciousness and we connect on a very deep level, and that's why she acts like a human sometimes, because our consciousnesses are merged. And that's maybe like why I act like an animal sometimes too. All right, do you really understand, Wee One, that you are, see, that's you down there. Okay, this is, you see, that is what is supposed to be me. This is called hogging the show or something like that. You're not even photobombing. You're just sitting in front of the camera. All right. No. She's a good girl. Unlike me, who just sat on green tea. It's one of those things that I was going to do it, and it was going to be one of those episodes where I go, oh, this isn't as much as I thought it was going to be left in here. It's really not even a serving, but it'll be okay. And then it never is. Rarely. No, in fact, the last time I did that, it was fine. The risks, I really haven't sat down and said, okay, here, spend a half hour figuring out what the risks are. I know that some of the early gene therapy trials, people got cancer caused by the organism that they use to mess with your to try to fix your DNA. It can also, I assume that because I hear that happened in the early trials, it's not happening anymore. Is it happening at all anymore? I don't know. These are the kind of things that I wonder what can go wrong. Right now I'm imagining the worst thing that could go wrong is if these early versions of the gene therapy are not as effective as ones that are available in 5 years. I'll be obligated to continue with the study. I wouldn't be able to. Part of the study, I'm sure, is that I not get any other gene therapy treatment for a certain number of years. If it's like the study I was in the 90s, you can drop out. And I actually forget if I dropped out or not of that that study. Involved the second liver biopsy. The first liver biopsy was the most painful experience of my life. As part of the study, which was of a Wilson's disease drug, tetrathiomolybdate, you got a liver sample, which is also frequently part of just the regular diagnosis, or was at least back in the 90s. And then I think 3 years later, another one. And I remember not finding out about the second liver biopsy. And I remember the main nurse, the one that I'm sorry, I forget her name. She was great. But saying, like, you can drop out of the study. You don't have to get the liver biopsy. I think she was explaining that. And then, I don't know. I sometimes I hear things that I wish I was hearing, and the whole thing that I'm leading up to is I believe that the liver biopsy involved in one of these trials that I'm applying for, or saying like, okay, I might do it, requires liver biopsies. I guess I can say I'm really glad I'm not researching all this stuff at a breakneck speed on the web, because I used to be one of those people that any little ache or pain, you were researching it until you found something that meant you were going to die tomorrow, and then you had to find out other things that you would die of that were still you were dying, but you might have been wrong with exactly how we were going to die. It might be longer and more painful. This is good. I'm talking about the tea here now. I can feel it surging through my veins. Feel the power. I haven't been paying attention to the flavor too carefully, but I've got that right puer thing all over the face. You can tell. I said I'm not going to say another time here. You can feel it all over the face, which is, I believe, the sensation of it being in your nasal cavity. I understand there's taste buds in the throat and at the top of the back of the throat that some Asians acknowledge. The culture just, of course, we can taste with our throat. I've tried to experience that, and I haven't, but it could lend to just like the sensation that like the tea is in my face. Not in my face. No. That the connotation that it's like strong enough for. No, that it's like literally not only on my tongue, but all over my mouth and down into my throat and kind of up into, around in here. And you can taste it by just moving around warm air in that. Yeah. Okay. Really interesting. This had the flavor that I now think of as Lubao, because the Lubao I had a couple for the first time has a certain pu'er-like flavor that's actually the first time. Let me see here if it's still accurate. Yeah, totally. It's somewhere in between the right pu'er flavor that is nothing but right pu'er and the raw pu'er flavor that is nothing but raw pu'er. Talking about this shoe here, this right pu'er, it has a raw pu'er flavor going on too. That could be just what I am associating with the storage area. The storage area imparts flavors in a way that I can't recognize. I can't differentiate now. So that might be what I'm tasting, being the similarity. The Lubao could have been stored in the same storage area as this right pu'er, is what I'm saying. So the storage area imparted a similar flavor, perhaps, on both. Why don't you come back just one more time? I'm about to wrap this up. Come on back. Come on up here. Why don't you come up here this time? That would be amazing if you actually did it. If you actually came up here. It's kind of like, looks like a little neti pot, doesn't it? I opened up a neti pot for my neighbor. Not like he called me over there, but I mistakenly brought his mail up to my place and opened it up. I've done that twice in the last month. One of them was tea. Yeah, so getting off here, signing off without a wee one. Here, I'm doing reverse psychology. Your wee one's not going to come back to say goodbye to us, so I guess you're going to have to tune in later to see her again. She just, the camera's on, and she doesn't realize this is going to be the last time she's going to be able to get on camera for a while. Her loss, and ours, actually, really. Let's not joke ourselves. All right, she's not coming. Thank you, dear friend, for these teacups, which are a size that I have used a lot in the past. In fact, until I broke a couple of them, this was the size that I preferred. Instead of using a Gaiwan, instead of using a fairness pitcher when I'm drinking with myself, I would just pour 2 or 3 steepings just in this size of a cup and drink it directly from there. Which is what you saw me do right now. It was just like riding a bicycle. It's like I was like I remembered it. Muscle memory. This is like orange. Orange is my favorite color for everything. Food, clothes, houses, cats. No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. The gray cat is my favorite cat. Yeah. If I could do it in slow motion, I've been into slow motion. I've not done a slow motion banana peel one yet. Slow motion close up. Yeah, if I'm gonna experiment with my camera, I can't be dilly-dallying around talking about what I'm gonna do. I just gotta do it. All right, bye-bye.